It was a quiet Tuesday morning in Providence, municipal court. The usual rhythm of traffic tickets and minor violations moved along like clockwork. Judge Frank Caprio, known for his compassion as much as his rulings, sat at the bench. The next case was called Robert Martinez. Violation of handicap parking regulations, citation number 47,829. From the back of the courtroom, a man rose carefully. He was in his early 50s. His graying hair was neatly combed. His jacket, though worn, was clean. But it was the way he walked that silenced the room. He gripped a wooden cane tightly. His right leg dragged with every step. Each movement was slow, deliberate. The kind of walk that speaks of pain and perseverance. As he reached the podium, Judge Caprio looked up. "Mr. Martinez," he said gently, "you appear to have a serious mobility issue. Why don't you have a handicap permit?" Robert nodded. His voice was tired but steady. "That's the problem, Your Honor. I've been trying to get one for 8 months. The courtroom grew still. Robert began to tell his story. He had been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 2 years ago. At first, the symptoms were mild, but over time, his ability to walk, stand, and even balance had declined. His physician filled out the new form, but the DMV demanded additional documents, proof of diagnosis, full medical records, and a neurologist's letter. So he went back, waited weeks for paperwork, and submitted it all, but it wasn't enough. Because his neurologist, they said, wasn't a state-certified disability evaluator. He'd have to see a state-approved doctor. The next available appointment, 6 weeks away. Robert waited. He was evaluated. The doctor confirmed his condition, but the DMV rejected the report. It was missing a single code number, and the doctor was now on vacation. 3 more weeks passed before the corrected report was delivered. By then, his original application form had expired. He had to start over. Judge Caprio leaned back in his chair, absorbing the story. His face showed a mix of disbelief and quiet frustration. 8 months, multiple doctors, layers of paperwork, all while Robert's health continued to decline. And then came September 15th. That day, Robert had a flare-up. His leg was numb. His balance was off. He could barely walk. But he had a critical doctor's appointment downtown, one he couldn't miss. He drove to the medical center. The parking lot was full, except for 3 handicap spots. "I sat in the car for 5 minutes, Your Honor," he said. "I knew I wasn't supposed to park there without a permit, but I also knew I couldn't walk the extra blocks from the streets." So he made a decision. He parked. He left a note on the dashboard, explaining he was disabled and in the middle of the permit process. He included his doctor's contact information. When he returned an hour later, there was a $150 citation on the windshield. Caprio was quiet for a moment. Then he asked, "Have you received your handicap permit now?" "Yes, Your Honor, last week. 8 months and 17 days after I started the process." The judge nodded solemnly. "Mr. Martinez," he said, "what you've gone through is not just bureaucracy, it's a failure of the system. A system that's supposed to help people like you, not trap them in red tape while your health worsens." Robert's eyes watered, but he stood tall. "I understand rules are there for a reason, but when you're in my position, sometimes you have to choose between following the rules or getting to your doctor." Caprio looked him in the eye. "I agree, and I'm dismissing this citation. Not because the law doesn't matter, but because justice must consider the full picture. In your case, punishing you would be unjust." Robert exhaled. "Thank you, Your Honor, but I'm not stopping there," Caprio added. "I'm writing to the DMV. They need to review their policies. What happened to you should never happen again." The courtroom, normally subdued, stirred with quiet applause. Even the clerk looked moved. Judge Caprio leaned forward. "Justice isn't just about enforcement, it's about humanity. You're not just a man who parked in the wrong place. You're someone who tried again and again to do things the right way. And the system made that nearly impossible." Robert wiped a tear from his cheek. "I thought I'd come here, pay the fine, and go home." Caprio smiled gently. "Instead, you came here and helped expose a flaw that needs fixing."